Hello, everyone, and welcome to this fifth episode. Oh my God, I can't believe it's been 5 episodes. Oh my God. Of Queens of the Ring. I am Cherry. That is the lovely, unapologetically, and AJ Styles fangirl, Denise. And is
Unapologetically.
this is the Wisconsin Sunrise that is known as Sarah. And we are the Queens of the Ring. Yes. Until I can show how long, until I can't show how long it's been since I dyed my hair, this will be the crown for the foreseeable future. But welcome everyone to this episode. Hope everyone has had, I guess it was this time last month. Hope everyone's had a great month. We have come back and we normally have special guests every other month, but we have got a very special guest with us tonight. The incredible Nick, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for having me.
And I actually requested this because I don't know if it's been announced like to the public or not, but the Queens of the Ring are actually going to be hosting the watch-alongs for the 2 nights of WrestleMania. And one of those nights, this lovely gentleman is going to be joining us. So
Yep.
we just wanted to get in there and talk to Nick and get to know him a little bit better, and let's talk some wrestling. And hi, Wesley, and let's see, Nick is also in the chat. So thank you guys for your comments. I think I just tweeted out the link. Crystal, our girl, what's up? But yeah, I guess we could just go ahead and dive right into the topics.
Okay.
Or do you want to? I was actually going to see. Did you want to maybe kind of talk about your, how you got into wrestling, who some of your favorite wrestlers are, and things like that? Sure.
Yeah. I watched as a kid when I was in elementary school, and then I watched, but it was more so everyone just had the action figures and the T-shirts and stuff like that, and like the toy rings and everything. But I can remember being like 7, 8 years old and coming home and seeing the TV guide scrolling through it and saying like SmackDown and Raw and TNA and Impact, and then when I got to middle school, I got big into baseball, and then going from there, high school, didn't watch wrestling at all. It wasn't until like the end of 2018 or 2017, I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw a picture of Becky Lynch all bloodied up after she took the punch from Nia Jax, and I was like, all right. I was just scrolling and I'm like, okay, hold on, I gotta go back, and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And then I was at my friend's house and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. He's asleep. I couldn't sleep, so I'm jumping onto Hulu and I'm like looking through and I see Monday Night Raw. So I watched like a couple episodes of whatever the current where they were at, and then I went back and started watching from 2014, and I watched from like 2014 the whole way to I caught up to 2018, and then started watching from the Royal Rumble that year. So this year's Royal Rumble was actually the 5-year anniversary of me becoming a wrestling fan.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
It's a very common thing that people love wrestling as a kid, and then they stop watching, and then they pick it up at a certain point, pick it back up at a certain point. I know that's what happened with Denise. So
Yes, it did.
Yeah. But that's awesome. We're so glad you're here. So
yeah.
So what was the first topic? I think I saw something about Liv Morgan in there.
Yeah. Which is Liv Morgan is probably one of my current favorites. My first 2 immediate favorites were Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
I can tell you that Liv is like one of the sweetest people ever. She's amazing. I haven't. And Rhea's really nice too. But I actually have not met Becky. She has.
She's a sweetheart. I love her. She immediately caught my attention when I got back into wrestling. She was the first female wrestler to catch my attention. This is before I knew who she was either. So
that's awesome. All right. So the first subject is Liv Morgan going to get inserted into the title match with Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch? So since you are our guest, we always let the guests lead with their commentary. So go ahead.
Yeah, I could see it happening. Not to the extent of what people are trying to make it, like similar to the We Want Cody with the We Want Liv. It definitely is interesting with how whenever Liv left the ring last night and had the face to face moment with Rhea, instead about I'm going to take everything from you since you took it from me, and that dynamic with it. I I would love it. It would make it feel so much better, and I think that if she were added, I think it should be the main event of night one. It's definitely worthy. Although Rhea kind of had her main event, WrestleMania type main event in Australia, so but being added, making it a triple threat, I think would be great if it happens. Who knows? But I would love it.
Okay, awesome. Denise, what are your thoughts on this?
Uh,
Ron Jeremy, everything gives you naughty thoughts.
that picture is seriously the best.
Oh my God. Have you been talking to Blaze Radio?
I wouldn't be surprised. With all the heat that's going on between her and Becky, and then now her and Rhea, I definitely think so. I mean, it'll be literally like a repeat of WrestleMania 35. It's going to be, if she does get inserted into this match, it's going to be an amazing match. All three of them are phenomenal in the ring alone. Put them together, they are going to create havoc in the best way freaking possible. But with everything that's going on, I think, yeah, that she will. If she doesn't, the match is still going to be amazing, but it would be even better if she did get put into it.
Awesome. All right, Sarah, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I mean, I'm cool if she does get inserted. I'm cool if she doesn't. Either way, it's going to be a really good match. I just think it would be made even better if she does get inserted in there to make it a triple threat rather than just a one-on-one match. But yeah, I think it would be cool as hell. I think it would be super cool.
Right. Green collar Tyler, hi, how are you doing? I just saw your comment. Well, I would love to see Liv, the three of them, I think could create some magic. As far as night one main event, we know that's not happening. We know that's been taken. And we all know my thoughts on that. But my only issue with that is we've got this impending cloud that is surrounding this that is known as Nia Jax. If Liv gets put in, who's to say that they won't try to throw her in there too?
Oh, now, that is a super good point.
Yeah.
And no one wants that.
No, we do not.
No.
I mean, if they don't put Liv in there, I mean, if it were just the three of them, I think it would be fantastic because Liv has improved so much in like every single way. Rhea is so super strong and Becky is very multifaceted in the ring. And then you have Nia.
A bull in a china shop.
Yeah, I mean,
literally.
And I will say that she has improved, but I don't want to see her in that match. If it were just kept that triple threat, it would be fine. But given that, I could see either Liv facing her instead, or one being Rhea. Like, of course, Nia kind of took out Rhea too, or Liv tried to be in Becky's corner to try to help her out because she just hates Rhea so much. But if it were just Liv Morgan, I would be perfectly fine with it. But and I think that would slap. But I guess we'll see. What do you guys think about Chad Gable going to Mania? Do you think he will find a way? And actually, that's one of our topics. Actually, so I don't know if it's the next. Don't know if it's the next topic or not. But we will definitely get to that question. And speaking of, I think we can go to the next question now.
All right.
Do you like the Hall of Fame class so far? Go ahead.
Yeah, Paul Heyman being the first one to be announced, I think was so smart and the right move. Absolutely deserves it. I think as soon as they announced WrestleMania would be in Philly, I immediately thought, okay, well, Paul Heyman's going to be probably inducted to the Hall of Fame.
ECW. I mean, that was a given. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I know yesterday they announced that Muhammad Ali is going to be the next inductee to the class. That's I love that as I'm getting into boxing and everything like that. So him being a great boxer and whatever he did, everything that he did in WWE as well. And then US Express, I posted the video of Triple H telling them that they were being inducted and gonna be in the class, and it blew up my TikTok. It had, I think it got like it's up to the last time I looked, it was at like 50 and a half thousand views.
Wow.
And it was just a video of him over FaceTime telling them that they were going to be inducted. And then I got a whole bunch of comments, and I've replied to a couple of them. And surprisingly, there was a lot of people that said, will they also do Bray Wyatt? And then people were like, he doesn't deserve it yet. They shouldn't do it just because he passed away. And my point was like, it's his dad and his uncle, so they could also do Bray as well and have Bo Dallas be the one to induct them.
Oh my God, I lose it.
And they did put Eddie Guerrero in the year that he passed away too. It's not like it's unprecedented to do that.
Yeah.
But those are all really excellent points, and I'll get to my comments about a couple of those, and including a couple that I would like to see. I think they said that they're going to announce at least one more, and possibly the legacy ones are coming back, which I think is great. But Denise, what do you think about the class so far?
I mean, I think it's definitely solid. Again, like Nick, Paul, definitely the right call. I'm honestly surprised it took them as long as it did to put him into the Hall of Fame, just because he is just that badass. No matter how annoying he is amazing at his job.
Definitely is.
Him, huh?
He most definitely is that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And Muhammad Ali too. I mean, I like that too. I mean, especially with him being gone as well. I mean, again, I know I didn't like really get to like watch anything or like when he was involved with it or what have you. But again, I mean, I know he had the relationship with WWE and everything. And as for the last one, I mean, again, I am really hoping that it will be Bray. I mean, he deserves it more than anything. He's freaking amazing. I mean, like he just he like caught my attention, but it's just like even like more so like the Fiend. It took me a while to like realize. I was like, holy crap, that's the same person. Stop putting him on the screen. It's creepy. Did a good job with it. So I mean, it's just like, and even like he didn't have to try hard. He is one of the best, and I think he deserves to have that last spot in it. So
awesome. All right, Sarah.
No, I think it's shaping up to be a really, really strong crowd or strong class this year. I'm really glad they got Bray's dad and uncle in there. Like that watching, because I didn't know who they were. I did not watch them when I was a kid. You know, 'cause when they were around, when they were in WrestleMania 1, I think I was like 2 years old, if that. So I didn't watch them, didn't remember them. So I had to look them up, and when I found out it was his dad and his uncle, it put a whole different spin on it for me. And just like watching that video that of that Zoom call or the whatever the video call telling them like that, it made me cry. Like it was so emotional. You can tell it just means so much to these guys that they're being recognized and remembered for the work they did so long ago. and for their contributions. I mean, we all know Bray's dad didn't only do that tag team. I mean, of course, he was IRS with the $1 Million Man. That's what I remember his dad for, is IRS. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be very fitting if they added Bray to the mix, most definitely. And not just because he passed away. I mean, think of his creative mind and what he did just in the short amount of time he was wrestling. I mean, he did a lot. I mean, not just in NXT and not just on the main roster, but on NXT as well. I mean, his the Wyatt family thing, I think that's influenced so many other factions, so many other wrestlers. The Eater of Worlds, come on. I mean, I see themes of that all the time in AEW, for example. And I don't think that's,
House of
I
Black,
think that's,
especially.
House of Black. I think the two guys that dress in white, I can't think of their names.
Oh, Vincent and
Vincent.
the ones they were in ROH. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I can't think of their names right now, but the two guys that
Rob
they all. Yes, the one that looks like Rob Zombie that snaps his fingers as he's going down to the ring. Those guys definitely make me think of the Wyatt family, most definitely. And I think that's just they're paying tribute, they're paying homage. So I absolutely think, I'd be cool if they did Bray. I think it would be okay if they didn't do it, but I really think they should. Now I'm going to ask a question. Just I'm not trying to ask a stupid question. What is a legacy inductee?
So in the past, they've taken like blocks of people that have contributed to wrestling, not necessarily made them like a spotlighted Hall of Fame member, but they've kind of put them in because they did Bruiser Brody like that and a couple of others. But it's kind of a lump of people that have kind of gone in together as what they call a legacy.
Oh, okay. I think that's a great idea too, to add that back.
Yeah.
Why not? I think that's cool.
I agree. And that was one of the points I was going to bring up. For me, I mean, Paul Heyman was a no-brainer. I mean, I remember Paul Heyman back in the AWA days as with Bad Company, and and then he went to the NWA right before it went to WCW with the New Midnight Express, and he formed the Dangerous Alliance, which was amazing. And then what he did with ECW, he made them a viable alternative to WWE and WCW. And the work that he's done now, and the work he's done behind the scenes as a writer and a producer. I mean, he has a very creative mind as well. Muhammad Ali, I love that they're really, because it's WrestleMania 40, they're really leaning towards that very first WrestleMania for their inductees with Muhammad Ali. I mean, he was one of the refs in that very first main event with Hogan, Mr. T, Piper, and was it Orndorff or Orton? I think it was Orton. But either way, he was a very important part of that very first one. And then the U.S. Express, they were in that very first tag team title match that was at WrestleMania. But I'm like you, so I knew Mike Rotunda from once again the old NWA with the Varsity Club with Kevin Sullivan and Rick Steiner, all the way up through IRS, like you were talking about. But Barry Windham was like, if you go and watch his body of work from the NWA and from Florida, he was amazing. He really should have been world champion at some point. I mean, he was, in NWA because he was that good. But he was a member of the Horsemen. I mean, and like his turn on Lex Luger is like, that's one of the memories from my childhood that is like, it was like one of the big shocks, like, oh my God, he really joined the Horsemen. And actually the version of the Horsemen with Barry Windham is my favorite because, I mean, that talent is oh my God, it was off the charts. But
I think she froze. Yeah, she buffered.
oh,
There she
there we go.
is.
Oh God, I hate. Oh, okay, I cannot have my Wi-Fi be a butthole, please. I do that today. It's not raining or anything.
It's like with what happens to Earl.
Oh God.
Speaking of Earl,
Hi, Earl.
Look out now.
Look out
yeah,
now, Earl.
there was also another inductee, Kiko Aoki or Bull
Bull
Nakano, which
Nakano.
is what
Bull
Wikipedia has her
Nakano.
as.
Are you talking about Bull Nakano?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, she was in a
Powerhouse.
time when women's wrestling in WWF was not taken seriously at all, but she was taken seriously because she was pretty badass. I want to say she was at the first WrestleMania or she was at the second one. But I love seeing her get recognized like she should. But talking about, so Mike Rotundo was at WrestleCade with Ted DiBiase, and Josie went up to him, my daughter, and showed him. She said, I want to show you this, sir. And it was the picture that my husband took from the previous January in a live show where Bray was hugging my daughter and had this big smile on his face. And he just looked at it and he just smiled, but you could tell he wanted to cry so bad. But he said, "Thank you so much for showing this to me." And she was just like, she was almost in tears. She was just like, "Oh my God, I loved him so much." And he was just like, "Thank you." But when you were talking about, I saw that look on it was that same look on his face when Hunter told him that they were going into the Hall of Fame. That was like, I was like, oh, I just saw that look and it just like transported me back to November when I saw his face. I love that they're getting in. I would love to see Bray. Actually, I would just love to see the Wyatt family go in because you have Luke Harper, who's no longer with us too, and he was brilliant.
That's a great point.
And I mean, everyone talks about the Shield. I mean, okay, around that time, I talked about 3MB, but everyone talked about the Shield. But to me, the Wyatt family, they really had my heart back in that. I mean, because Bray was so creative, and Eric and Luke just played off of him so well. And then Braun, when he came in with it, they played off of each other so freaking well. The other one that I would love to see, and if they're going to do two more, and I know Charles Robinson, but he's still active. Let's wait and give Charlie his flowers when he's ready to call it quits. But I would love to see Batista finally go in.
That would be good.
It's so long overdue because he was supposed to go in 2020, and we all know what happened. But of course, that would have to jive with his filming schedule, and he's always so busy. But Bray and Batista are the ones I really would love to see go in, and I would love to see Charlie Robinson and Earl Hebner, and they haven't announced who I really don't even want to call it the Warrior Award. I want to call it the Shad Gaspard Award. But they haven't announced who's going to be getting that. I know that there was like a grassroots campaign possibly for DDP to get in because he's, transformed so many lives with the DDP program and helping, a lot of them beat up some really bad habits. So, I guess we'll be finding out even, more inductees as we go along. And yes, Cyndi Lauper should have already been in, Earl, because I mean, without her, I don't think that boom in like 1985 would have happened without her. I really don't. But anyway,
are they seriously not calling it the Shad Gaspard Award anymore?
Oh, they never did. They've been calling it the Warrior Award since its inception. And I really have an issue with that because of the stuff that I know they try to gloss it over and everything and make everything all shiny, but he was not a very good person. And I think Shad Gaspard was a real hero. And I would love to see real heroes get an award named after a real hero. But that's just
I
me.
agree.
But anyway, that was a really good discussion. So
Yeah.
our next topic is you like the Prime logo in the center of the ring for PLEs.
Look at Nick's bottle.
God.
I love it.
I
love
tried
it.
That fruit punch one.
And it was funny because I just finished up watching the Impulsive episode where Logan announced had his big announcement about SummerSlam, which is another one of our topics. But they talked about what went into them doing this, and he talked about how Vince always protected the mat and not doing advertisements on the canvas and everything. And he said that being the center sponsor on a mat is like a milestone for him and what Prime and then also WWE. But he also said about how he did it and chose to do it now to lean into him being a heel and just making the audience hate him even more. So it blends in both like his business with Prime, it blends in with what he's doing in WWE. So it's just a perfect blend and a mixture of everything that's going on with him, with Prime, with him being in WWE. And like he said, the hate that it's getting, it's more from the casual wrestling fans that are just trying to say that it's going to distract from the wrestling. But it's like the UFC has way more, and it's never distracting with the fights in the UFC. So it was only a matter of time before they did it, given that TKO and the UFC, it's all under one umbrella. So if it wasn't going to be Prime, it was going to be something else. So I love it.
Okay. Denise?
I think we all know how I feel about that.
It's probably the same as I do, but yeah.
Girl, I mean, they
Logan sucks.
good wrestler, but he's
Allegedly.
Don't you allegedly? No,
Allegedly.
absolutely not. He is a cheater.
Everybody
Allegedly.
can allegedly be a cheater when you have a pair of brass knuckles.
Right.
Aubrey Edwards is allegedly a good ref.
No, she's not. She's terrible.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. I just like the blank canvas. I mean, why just kind of taint something that was fine to begin with? I mean, like, again, like Nick said, like the UFC and everything, and I mean, even the old school TNA, which I'm watching right now. I'm in 2009, and it's just like literally. I mean, I guess for some people it will, and some people it won't. But I'm like during the matches, I'm just seeing this big ass bottle of Stacker 2, like 6-hour energy bottle. And I was like, oh my god, what is that?
I forgot about them doing that Stacker 2. Oh god, I hated that crap. I hated
I
it.
was like, this is obnoxious. And then to see the Prime, and I was just like, why are they doing that? And with one of the most obnoxious people in the freaking company too. No, yeah, I'm not a happy person, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be a blip on their radar to listen to. So the point is moot.
I don't think any of us are. So, Sarah, I think we talked to some about this last.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it last night on the Raw watch along. Like, I think, like, I totally agree with what Nick said. It totally leans into him and his heel tendencies now, and you can tell he's really enjoying being a heel. And my theory on it is that I don't like him, and I think he's a big jerk face. That means he's doing a good job at being a heel because I think he's a big jerk. So, I mean, I think it's okay. I think it's the evolution of wrestling. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to it, but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, it'll take me. And plus, it's only for the PLEs, so it's not
I was
like
just gonna say that.
we're going to be seeing it for Raw and SmackDown week after week. It'll be during the PLEs. So, I mean, you got to figure they made us have a stinking Mountain Dew pitch black match for crying out loud. with Bray
God.
Wyatt and LA Knight. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if we can, yeah, I think if we can
That
deal
was-
with
That was distracting.
that was terrible. And I'm like, I think
that was
if-
Red Hell in the Cell
it
distracting.
was so bad.
Oh,
And I'm like,
the whole like blacklight thing was pretty badass though. I liked
I
that.
love
say,
the
though-
black light, but it was just kind of hard to make out.
But yeah,
it was weird. I mean, it creeped me out though at the end when
the
I think it
makeup
was
on
during
his
at the
face.
end when you could see his like
The
when Bray had
sweat.
that face paint on and those contacts when the light hit it just right. Oh my goodness, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I figure if I can get through watching that stupid pitch black match, I can get through dealing with a bottle of energy drink being plastered in the middle of in the middle of the ring. So it'll just take a little bit of getting used to. That's all.
Earl, we're gonna get to that.
Yep.
You're ahead of us, dude. Okay. I hope Orton takes him at WrestleMania.
Oh, that would be amazing. I can't wait.
I am not a casual wrestling fan. I am pretty hardcore, and I have been since childhood. With that, I can't freaking stand him. I think he's a deplorable, disgusting human being. Going back to his YouTube channel, I cannot stand him. I don't want to look at that stupid water bottle in the middle of the ring. I hope someone pees on it. I really do. I would freaking love it if someone did that. But I mean, what can we do? Unless we bought like a crap load of shares in TKO, we ain't got we don't have a say in it. So guess just look at it and just go, oh, God. But yeah, I'm like you. I'd forgotten about how distracting that Stacker 2 crap was.
I'm literally just like, what is this crap? Take it off. Oh my God. It's literally like, because I mean, I have ADHD, so it's like, it's hard for me to like focus on one thing for a long period of time. So it's just like, I'm trying to watch the match and then it's just like, oh, hey, there's a bottle in the middle of the ring.
I'm ready for someone to pin him on the Prime bottle, though. I can't. I'm
I
ready.
was just gonna say, I think it would be super fitting if perhaps in this feud he's got with Randy going on now, leading up to WrestleMania, if Randy, knowing how egotistical and the fact that he's a heel, if Randy can somehow like deface that Prime bottle, I think that would be amazing. And oh yeah, I think that would be cool.
Like right in the center of it. And
Like they did with KSI on Monday. They talked about that as well on Impulsive.
Great.
And they said Logan was talking about the hate for it that they're getting, and he's like, it's mostly positive, but then it's the hate. It's like from the casual fans who are like, this is pointless, and they hate it mostly just because it's Logan Paul, it's Prime, it's whatever. Because AEW has it here and there for special events, for movies, for they used to have their logo there. But KSI took the RKO right on the logo and everything, and talked about it more, and then Randy dragged his body over and then poured the Prime on him, whatever.
Right where it looked like he pissed his pants.
Yeah,
I know, it was great.
And like also like Logan said, if it wouldn't have been Prime, it could have been and would have been something else. So it makes sense.
I'm surprised it wasn't Slim Jim, honestly.
Yeah, and
that's what I would have thought. Honestly,
this is now not only is it the first ever on canvas sponsorship with WWE, but it's now higher paying than Slim Jim.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh God.
Man.
Okay. All right. So,
Hey,
hi,
Sean.
C. How are you, everybody?
Sean C.
All right. So our next topic is Logan Paul winning at Mania since SummerSlam is going to be in Cleveland, Ohio. So yes, they announced earlier today. And I have a really dear friend named Christine that lives in Cleveland, Ohio. I hope she gets to go because SummerSlam is amazing. Because her and I went to Nashville. It was
cool.
So Denise, actually, Nick, so what do you think? You think he's going to win, or you think Randy's going to destroying.
I could see it going either way. Logan's going to be on the SummerSlam card regardless, so it could be with the title, could be without it. Randy probably doesn't need to get a win and beat him and have that title. Logan could carry it into SummerSlam and then lose it there. Even though, like, because it's Cleveland, he's from Cleveland, but they're still going to boo him just because it's Logan. But he's gonna do. I mean, SummerSlam is going to be great. He talked about that again on Impulsive. Said about he wants to have MGK there. He wants to have Jake with him. He wants to have the Kelsey brothers there. He wants to make it show Cleveland, show that Cleveland can rock, essentially.
Nice.
But I at first I was way back when I figured it would be LA Knight and Logan at WrestleMania, and then
That's what
obviously
I thought too.
Logan
Yep.
would drop the title to him. Given that they're going AJ and LA Knight probably. Logan and Randy, I think it'll be great. But Logan being able to say that he beat Randy Orton, I think it could just do so much for him in that heel part of it, and him listing off accolades. Prime sponsors of WWE. I beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and then go into his hometown, Cleveland, say all that, get booed, and then get beat and lose the title then.
With brass knucks. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
Allegedly.
But I mean, Cleveland. You know who else is from Cleveland? Because I see Earl Cole is in the chat. His miss is from Cleveland, so we know he's there too. Love you, Earl.
Yes. I
think you did that last week during Dynamite. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
Sorry, Earl.
No, he's not.
I'm not.
We do it because we love you, Earl.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
not love. Yeah. All right. So, Denise, what do you think about old LP getting the win at Mania against?
I mean, Nick does make some very good points. All of it makes sense. All of it would definitely help for him, and just even like storyline, well, not storyline, but like in general, help build his character as a heel and like to improve him more than what he already is. But I mean,
Oh, great. I'm getting a fine.
Suspension.
I'm going to hear about this tomorrow night.
Did you brush your hair and brush your teeth? Sorry.
No, you're good. You're playing with me.
All right. So yeah. Go ahead. I'm actually gonna put her to bed. I'll be right back. Go ahead and say your piece, ma'am.
Hi. But it's he should have already lost it. So
Allegedly.
He should have lost it. Not allegedly. He should have lost it already. And I mean, and if it is going, I mean, I can't stand him. So him winning at Mania again, like last year, I was off the freaking walls, livid and annoyed that they let Theory beat John Cena at WrestleMania. I was like, what the is this bullshit? I was like, hell no. No. Why? So to have a repeat of that, I mean, yeah, Logan is better than Theory in my opinion, but I mean, just no. I mean, if it does end up being Logan and Randy, no. Just no.
I feel you. All right. I know where this one sides because there, someone knows her some vipers. So go ahead and let them
Definitely want Randy to win. Randy. But Nick does bring up a very good point. So I could totally see WWE having him beat Randy, carry that title into SummerSlam, and then drop it to LA Knight in Cleveland. I definitely think Logan's going to drop the title at some point. And as much as I would love for Randy to pin him at WrestleMania, I think Logan losing the title, it's going to be impactful, but I think it would be that much more impactful if he does it in front of his hometown crowd in Cleveland.
With his brother.
So I could
yeah.
Right.
I could totally see them doing that.
Well, hi, Giovanna and Notorious GAV. We actually already discussed the thing about Prime, so when we're finished, you can go back and watch the
No, Nick, no.
Josie, no, you don't have Prime. You don't drink sugary butt water. No, you do not.
What?
Sugary. I said no. You do not drink sugary butt water. No.
Oh, butt water.
Sugary butt water.
It only has 2 grams of sugar.
Yeah, but it's also an energy drink, and she's 10 years old. No.
This one's just hydration,
and she does not need it.
This is the energy.
She
I'm
does
not
the
sponsored,
cans
but I
the
just like
energy
Prime.
in them.
She does not need it. Trust me.
No, she does not. She's already got enough energy as it is.
Trust me.
Way too much energy.
Oh, thank you, Giovanna. I appreciate that. Gotcha, girl. I do think he's winning. Unfortunately, I never wanted him to win that this early to begin with because I mean, everyone talks about Roman being a part-timer and not being in the ring every single week. So what's the difference with him being in the ring? But I don't want him to win, but I'm pretty sure he will. I would love to see Randy just completely
Annihilate him.
Yes, but who knows at this point? Wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen. Yep, I agree, Crystal. I think he's going to win, and I think he's going to wind up losing to LA Knight in Cleveland. Because I mean, if history has showed us, WWE does not give 2 rats' asses about people being in their hometowns winning or retaining titles. So WWE will strap a rocker to his ass and push him. A rocker.
Did you mean to say rocket?
Probably rocket. You can strap a rocker to it too. I mean,
Probably would have the same effect.
I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, all right. So, all right. What is our next topic? I gotta go ahead and put the child to bed. Are we getting a triple threat for the IC title? That was asked in the chat, and I think I made a statement about that because we saw a certain something on Raw on the watch along last night that we will see. So Nick, go ahead, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, I would be okay with it, given that they showed Chad Gable's video package first. I thought for sure he was going to win it. I said about it on whenever my friend and I were talking about it on my podcast on Friday and Saturday as well. I thought it should be definitely Chad Gable or Sami Zayn. I would have been okay with either one. I definitely think Sami Zayn for sure deserves it to get to that point. And if they do make it a triple threat, it'll be cool to see how they go out and try to make it better than last year's triple threat. So I would love it if they would do that. So I hope they do.
No, yeah, I mean, I think that they're going to make it a triple threat. I mean, and it's not the first time it's happened. There's always, it's not often that it happens, but where the wrong person wins the match. I mean, it's clear that Chad's shoulders were not on the mat when Sami pinned him. So that is one, that's obviously one reason why he should be inserted into the IC match. Also, too, being him, if he was originally supposed to be the winner of the gauntlet match, that's another reason why he would be inserted into the match. And I mean, again, all three of them are good, so it would make for a good match. But I do think that he better be put into that match because he deserves it. He's busted his ass for that title match.
Awesome. Sarah?
Absolutely. I agree. I definitely think, and I agree with Crystal, I definitely think it should be a triple threat match. Chad Gable, we could all see. I mean, and I even went back and watched it. It looked like there was a little bit of a gap in between the top of his shoulder and the mat. So it's like, again, it was like Aubrey Edwards was reffing last night, because how could you not see that his shoulders were not pinned to the mat? It's like she had ref had blinders on.
Literally.
So I definitely, I think it's a very good segue to get him in there. I really like that video package that they put together. I mean, and I said this last night too. WWE's been hitting out of the park with all these video packages, as over the last couple of months. Leading into the Royal Rumble, they've been really upping their game with that. But that video package for Chad Gable is very compelling. And there's a story behind it. This has got like a built-in story for him to go after the Intercontinental title. And I know I've heard a lot of people or read a lot of people on social media saying that Chad Gable hasn't done enough and he hasn't won enough matches and this and that.
Been in the ring?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. That's why I was like, it doesn't matter how many matches he's won. There is a built-in storyline with this. And it's kind of like David meets Goliath in a way. But yeah, I totally think he should be involved, and they need to make that a triple threat for sure.
Okay. I think I pretty much said what I said on the stream last night. His shoulders were not anywhere near the mat. He's got a case. I mean, and yes, he does have a story. But how dare you say anyone else has a story? We know only one person has a story. I'm just joking.
I know. How dare I?
How else do you get everything, like the storylines? There's no stories whatsoever at all.
No, not at all.
How do you think?
But yeah, I mean, Sammy has a story too. He's been doing this scrappy underdog thing, whatever it is.
Exactly.
I'm just glad that we know your story, Earl. You love the Miz. We know.
I'm glad I swallowed my water when I did.
Everywhere. Jerry, that was the best.
I'm just glad that Sammy's far away from that world title match, because they kept talking about inserting him in that, and I'm like, oh God, please, Jesus, no, because I don't ever want to see that match ever again. But we're also taking into the fact there's someone we haven't seen in a while who also has a story, and has a story with Gunther, and that is Sheamus. Who's to say he does not make his return at Mania? And because I definitely think that Chad is getting into that match. Who's to say that Sheamus doesn't get in and make it a four-way?
That could be their way of making it bigger than last year's triple threat, which was fantastic.
But it was totally my match of the year. I mean, no one else even came close to that match. And the thing about that match, there was no big story. There wasn't no cinema.
There wasn't.
You had a little bit of one with the whole Sheamus and Drew friendship breaking down, but it was just three guys who went out there and beat the crap out of each other, and it was phenomenal. But
so good.
I could easily see that becoming a fatal four-way, but Chad Gable is most definitely getting into that match. But if Sheamus, I still want Sheamus to be the one to finally dethrone Gunther. But honestly, either him or Chad Gable at this point. I think that they have the real stories with Gunther. But if Sheamus doesn't, I think Chad Gable's winning because Giovanna's asking who we think is going to win. I think Chad Gable's winning. What do you guys think? Who's going to win?
Yeah, I would love to see Chad Gable win, and then Gunther can go up to the main event scene, and ultimately, I think he wins the title at Bash in Berlin.
I don't know.
Sami Zayn or Chad Gable, I think would be great, but Chad Gable.
We've talked about how WWE loves to crap all over people that are like near their homes. No, I don't see him winning it. Then I think he can go without a title for a year or two because he's held this for like 900 years. I think he's okay if he doesn't.
Yeah, he's closing in on 2 years almost.
For God's sake, I'm so sick of it. But I think Chad Gable is. I think Chad Gable's finally going to win it. Yeah. What do you think, Denise? Who you think?
Chad.
I think if it stays a triple threat match, or if it becomes a triple threat match and stays a triple threat match, Chad Gable for sure, hands down.
He's going to pin Sammy. They're not going to let Gunther get pinned.
No.
No.
Yeah,
You want to protect his badassery.
Hunter's going to keep his voice strong. That's how it's going to be. So because I mean, Chad beat him one time, and of course he wasn't pinned to get beat, but
yeah.
But I think he's, but that, and I don't know if you guys watched Raw Talk afterwards. That promo he did with, I think it's Kathy Kelly afterwards. Oh my God, all the emotion, just, oh God, he's definitely getting in. I mean, there's just, and I think he's winning. So,
yeah.
But like I said, Stevie Wonder could see that his shoulders were not on the mat last night. Although Aubrey Edwards probably wouldn't see it, but
no, she wouldn't.
Oh God, has it really been 2 years, Giovanna? Oh my God, I remember when you went to that show. Oh my God, that's insane.
Time flies.
Oh my God, it really does.
Oh, Christina, I think Chad should have won last night too, for sure. But I think this was a good way for them to get both Chad and Sammy onto the WrestleMania card. I think Sammy will have a good showing, but
yeah,
it's Chad's game.
Yeah, and I agree that Sammy's is the one getting pinned. So,
yep.
All right. I would love to watch Dark Side of the Ring night. I keep it taped and then I watch them over the weekends. So, yep. I can't remember which one is tonight. I think John Tenta was the first week, and then I think.
Oh my God! I just watched that on Sunday, and it's
so sad. Oh my God!
It's so sad. The end of that, I was in tears by the end of it. It's just so sad.
Yes. Oh God. All of those tend to be, pretty much downers. But okay. All right. Our next topic. Really, Kat? Of course, she's going to start sneezing. Jesus.
That was your cat?
Yes, that was snack time. Yes.
Yes. For whatever reason, I thought that was Josie.
No, she's in bed. Drew.
And I just remembered she was in bed.
Drew was Drew was like over here at one point. I don't know. Okay. Favorite WrestleMania moment of all time. It doesn't necessarily have to be a match. It could just be a moment. Or whatever. So, all right, our esteemed guest, what is your favorite WrestleMania moment of all time?
Probably, oh man, I only have, this will be my fifth, so I only have 5 to choose from that I've watched like live and happen, in person, not in person, but as it's happening. Probably, I think Becky winning the main event at WrestleMania 35. And then, I mean, I could pick one from each of the 5 that I got to watch, but definitely like KSI getting frog splashed by Logan Paul whenever he faced Seth Rollins last year, and KO jumping off the WrestleMania sign at the in the warehouse, because they couldn't do the pirate ship, and then they did it at the next year, and then that was Logan's first WrestleMania where he took the stunner. So out of the 5 that I've only watched, I do have a good bit, but I'm excited for 40 and can't wait to see what moments come from this year.
It's shaping up to be like, if they really pull this off and really book it right, this really could be the best WrestleMania of all time. It's looking fantastic. All right, Denise, your favorite WrestleMania moment of all time?
I mean, like Nick. I mean, I've only had this. Let's View. I've had the 4 from 2020 on. But I mean, I definitely do agree with Nick with Becky winning at 35, especially with them being the first ever women's main event at a WrestleMania. That made it even more special. Even though it sucked majorly, and I'm sure that's definitely going to change this year. Because again, it was my first actual WrestleMania. Being invested in wrestling was Kofi too. Yeah, that was awesome. I don't know how I forgot about that.
Yeah, same.
That was Drew winning his first title at 36, and I did well. And this was my first WrestleMania ever. Like actually, like it was actually my first live show since getting back into wrestling. So that made it even more special. I do have 2 for WrestleMania 37. I do have Bianca winning against Sasha. I was like beyond ecstatic for her with that. I was super excited. And also too, I didn't know it at the time, but AJ and Omos beating the New Day for the tag team titles. He actually did create history that night too, which I did not know. So that was pretty badass. And I got to witness that night and realize that I witnessed history. And I'm trying to think the following year. I don't know. I did no, that was last year. Okay, no, I do have for last year's, but I did thoroughly enjoy Sammy and Johnny Knoxville at 30.
Yeah, that was
38.
I just saw a clip of Pat McAfee reposting the him and Michael Cole on commentary from that, and it was so great, so
Super
great.
funny.
Anything and Pat McAfee with 38 and Stone Cold, phenomenal.
Yes, that was
so good.
Yes, that was
so good.
Yes, and then for last year's, and I know this one will agree with me, the rubber chicken.
The real goat of WrestleMania.
The rubber chicken.
That was funny.
Yeah, I was so drunk by the end of that night. I mean, I was because the whole Drew had lost, and I actually had a professional wrestler at my party who was feeding me Scottish whiskey. So yeah, I was pretty hammered. When that rubber chicken hit that mat, I swear I just cried with laughter. I was just like, I thought maybe I was like delusional. I thought maybe I was seeing things. I'm like, is that a rubber chicken? Oh my god.
Yeah, Notorious. That was actually WrestleMania 36.
Yep, that was WrestleMania.
That was the main event. If you want to call it that, for night one
main event. Yeah, that was the first ever night one main event. Yep.
Yeah.
Sure was. But yeah, rubber chicken. Cody got beamed with the rubber chicken after Roman pinned him. Sorry. I'm still posting like rubber chicken memes to this day because oh my god, it's awesome.
You're so funny.
But Sarah, how about you?
I was gonna say anything, pretty much any Undertaker match except the one where Brock took his broke the streak, because I don't think the streak should have ever been broken. Let's just put that out there right now. I think that his streak should have stayed intact throughout his entire career. But I have to say, I believe the Shawn Michaels retirement match was at WrestleMania where the Undertaker had to give him 2 tombstones. So I thought they did an excellent job. I believe it was Ric Flair's retirement match where Shawn Michaels had to super kick him to get him to go down. That was very emotional. I really did enjoy, somebody mentioned the Boneyard match. I really enjoyed that match. That first cinematic match they did was very cool. So that was always that was a fun match to watch. I enjoyed that a lot. I was going to bring up, I figured somebody was going to bring up the Drew versus Brock match where he won the title. I know it wasn't in front of a live audience, but it was still a very special moment. It meant a lot. It meant a lot to a lot of people. So, you know, I'm fairly confident he's going to turn it around this year too, and he's going to be able to get that title win in front of a live crowd, which is going to make it just, even more special to him.
And finish his story.
Your
yes, and he can finish his story.
Your lips to God's ears, Sarah. Yes.
I have a feeling. Well, I told Earl, I'm like, it makes the most sense. Storyline wise, it makes the most sense, and turn things around. He's doing his character the way he wants to do it. He's being given this creative freedom. And I will say it again. I've been saying this for months. Everybody's talking about him. And I know I'm kind of going off a little bit now, but I did just want to bring this one point up. I've been saying this for a while now. Earl knows this. You guys have heard me say this. Everybody, him and Han about Drew signing his contract. They are not going to put somebody in a title match if they haven't renewed their contract. And they're not going to put a title on somebody if they haven't renewed their contract. They're not stupid. So I think he signed his contract.
Time back onto it, but I don't think, has it come out if he has?
It hasn't come out yet, but everybody's like, no,
I know they added time to it because he was being advertised for shows in May in like Italy or something.
Yeah, he's advertised. He's on the poster for Bash at Berlin.
Yeah. So they added time onto it because he was out for a little while with an injury. So I know they added time onto it, but everybody's been hemming and hawing for months that he hasn't re-signed his contract or they haven't negotiated anything. And I'm like, who cares? Just enjoy it.
Seth has a contract coming up right after WrestleMania as well.
He does.
Yeah, I think Becky is up this year too. I mean,
yep, Becky and Seth both. There's been a lot of talk about that too. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I did enjoy Sasha's entrance that she did with Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah.
I definitely enjoyed that. Just like I enjoyed last year Rey Mysterio's entrance when he was driving that lowrider as an homage to Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, that was
Dom's last year as well was great.
Yes.
And Logan Paul ziplining down at last year's.
Oh my God. No. Logan Paul, no.
Allegedly.
No, another really good moment was when Ray took his own belt off and whipped Dominic's butt with it. I thought that was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, that match was great. And that's how I know Dominic is a good heel because I can't stand him either. So I know he's doing a great job as a heel. But yeah, I'm excited for WrestleMania. I mean, we've got a lot of people from Hardcore Sports that are actually going to the show. Earl, Mitch, Blaze, AK's going. There's a bunch of people that are going there. And it's, which I think is really special for them. I'm excited for them to get to go see it live. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. I think we all know what my favorite, I mean, I've got a few, but my absolute favorite is WrestleMania 36. When Drew finally became champion. Because, I have been ride or die since 2007. And I've seen I'd seen so much crap. Going from the Chosen One down, and then trying to make something out of being downgraded to 3MB, trying to get that over. And they finally did. And then they released him. And he literally went and reinvented himself. He didn't have anyone else's name to lean on. He reinvented himself, and they called him. He didn't call them and say, "Hey, you guys want me back?" William Regal was paying attention to him and
They
was
sought him out.
told Triple H, you got to come, you got to get him now. And the fact that they knew he was going to be in Orlando for all of the indie stuff that was going on around WrestleMania, perfect time. And I swear to God, when he showed up in that crowd, Stand and Delivered, I screamed my head off. I was like, oh my God, he's back. But to see where he started and then going through all of the things, everything that he went through in his personal life and professionally, and to see him finally win that was just the most satisfying thing. I don't give a crap if anyone else was in that building, because he brought us in to that match. Like at the end of that match, he reached out and said, thank you. You knew he meant it.
Yep.
And that was incredible. My favorite of all time. In that same WrestleMania, you guys talked about the Boneyard match, which I loved. But the Firefly Funhouse match was amazing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh,
Randy.
I was kind of
that was
Cena.
It was
Oh, that was
Randy and
Cena. That's right.
Yeah,
I
what?
watched that and I'm like, what in the hell is going on?
But once again, it showed that creative thing, and good on Cena for just going with it and really getting into it, because that's really the last time we've seen Cena as anything close to a full timer. He just kind of went away after that. I can't remember which was it, WrestleMania 13. Batista beating Triple H, because Batista was my boy back in the day. Seeing his emotion and knowing that he started in wrestling so late and he had to overcome having asthma in order to be a wrestler, and seeing him organically become the biggest babyface in the company at that point. I love a really good organic turn, whether it's to a heel or to a face, because you talked about Drew's heel turn and what amazing, I still don't think he's a heel. I still think he's a hero, but that this new character he's got. But to see Batista and people just went nuts when he turned on Triple H and Ric Flair, and people were with him during that. Let's see, really taking it back, Stone Cold versus Bret Hart, when Stone Cold passed out in the sharpshooter with that blood dripping down his face. Oh my God. And Bret versus Owen in that cage at WrestleMania 10. Oh, just that is, to me, still the best opening match of any WrestleMania. It's just so perfect. I miss Owen. Bret is one of my four goats, and that. I mean, I could talk about Drew and Bret all day, but I'm going to look in the chat and see what some of the other people.
They call Bret the excellence of execution for a reason.
Because he absolutely was.
He's one of the best technical wrestlers ever.
Let's see what else. I see Undertaker match with AJ Styles. Giovanna was asking about what the rubber chicken is. Go back and watch last year, the main event. You'll know what we're talking about. Christina said, I love seeing Rhea being Charlotte last year. That was a really good match.
That was good.
Kofi Mania, Drew winning the WWE title, the Boneyard match, and Taker facing Shawn at WrestleMania 25. Well, both of the Taker-Shawn matches were fantastic. Oh, the Batista and Undertaker match too was so good, and it's so under.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what else have we got?
You know what? I was gonna say Earl mentioned Vince McMahon getting his head shaved in that billionaire match with Donald Trump, where Vince McMahon picked Umaga, yes, and Donald Trump picked Bobby Lashley. It was when Bobby Lashley first came out and was still in ECW, in the revival of ECW.
Yep. Oh yeah, I remember it. I don't like to remember anything with Vince McMahon, but
I just thought it was hilarious. He's sitting there throwing a temper tantrum like a toddler.
Shawn Michaels retiring Ric Flair. The "I'm sorry, I love you."
Oh my God, very emotional.
Let's see what else we got. Dirty Dom.
I don't call him Dirty Dom. I call him Dumbass Dom.
Oh, Charlie Robinson running down the ramp.
Yeah, I can see it. I literally saw it yesterday.
That man got that cardio going, man.
Yes.
Hogan slamming Andre. That's taking it way back. Oh, Savage versus Steamboat. Oh God, you want to talk about a match? One of the best matches ever at WrestleMania. See, I've literally watched every single WrestleMania. So, let's see. All are really good moments, and I mean, we probably could sit here for hours and just go, "Oh yeah, I remember that." But
Yeah.
but we that's a really really good list of moments, and not just matches, but moments. Do we have another topic?
I think that was it.
Oh, well, Mitch wanted me to talk about my experience last Sunday at Sting's last match in
Oh.
at Revolution. So I wasn't going to be able to go because we've been kind of, we've had some money issues, and trying to get. I've been trying to get a new full-time job, and because I mean, if you look in the past 2 years, I mean, we've done wrestling event after wrestling event after wrestling event after wrestling event, but we've had to slow down because of this, and it's still. I'm just really. It's been a really kind of tough pill to swallow, especially that one because I'm an hour and a half away from Greensboro. I live in the Charlotte area, so when I talk about NWA, Four Horsemen, I know I was there at the Charlotte Coliseum for all of those.
You lived through it.
I
You were there for it.
Lived through it live. I used to go like every time they had matches at the Charlotte Coliseum, which is now Bojangles Arena, I think.
Oh yeah,
it's still. Yes, and yes, Notorious JV. I was there. So what happened was I posted on WrestleCade's thing because they were like, we're going to be there. Like the owners were already going to be there, and I'm pretty good friends with them. And I just, where are you guys watching it from? And everyone's saying, oh, I got my tickets, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, unfortunately, I can't go, unable to go, but I'm going to watch it from the comfort of my couch. Well, this guy that I had met at WrestleCade last year, who had followed me on Twitter, saw my comment to WrestleCade and sent me a DM and said, look, we have upgraded our seats. I have not been able to sell these tickets, and I have 3 of them, and I would love to give them to you for free.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. So that was not expected. We were not expected to be up until 2:00 in the morning to try to get back, but we were just like, okay, we're gonna go. So I have so to tell you how much I love Sting. Sting is my GOAT. Drew is literally number 2 by like this. I mean, like the slimmest of margins, but Sting is my GOAT. And I had been there for so many of his matches back in the day with, the NWA and WCW. I was hey, I'm definitely going to go. You're the luckiest girl I've ever seen. Thank you very much.
That's so sweet.
You really are sweet. I saw you're from the UK too.
Oh, cool.
Love the UK people. Absolutely.
Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
And Drew and Jack Jester and Stu. Well, Wade Barrett. I could go on about my love of UK men, especially with beards. But so we got up there. Unfortunately, our seats were like really high up, and I have
Vertigo.
Thank you. I was going to say dementia. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not quite that. But no, I do have vertigo. And so in the Greensboro Coliseum, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but its incline up in the rafters is literally almost like a 90 degree angle. It's like insane.
Oh my God.
But for Sting, I was more than willing to brave it. So I think I posted on Twitter the video of the line it was just to get
Oh
him.
yeah, I saw that.
Was just wrapped around everything, and that complex is huge because they don't just have the Coliseum; they have the little like convention center area where like the Greensboro Swarm plays, and then they have like an aquatic center. It was wrapped around all of that. Oh my god,
That's crazy.
yeah, it
That's
was.
wild.
I mean, it was. There were over 16,000 people there, and that was, and there was no exaggerating numbers or nothing. And that's just how loved Sting is in the Carolinas and in this area. As for all of the other matches, they were great. That was our first ever experience at an AEW show too.
Well, that's a good one to be first.
Right, exactly. That Will Ospreay match was incredible. Oh
Match
my
of
god!
the year so far.
Oh my god! It was pretty insane as well. Yes, it was an insane. I mean, just witnessing it live, it was like, oh my god. But everything I really liked all the matches, but of course I was there for Sting, and anytime like his name was even mentioned,
Hey Dylan.
hi Dylan.
What's up?
Anytime Sting's name was even mentioned, it was like, ah! I mean, the crowd just went nuts. But
Oh,
luckily,
I bet.
when we were up in the balcony, no one really stood up except for the Sting stuff. So I got to sit during most of it. So, but like the moment that they started playing that video, of him like in the theater, I just started bawling. I was just like, oh my god, this is really happening. He's really retiring. And then when the red, white, and blue 1990 Sting appeared, I was like, is that a hologram? Because I was like, because it was like, it looked like,
Oh yeah.
and then but then the Wolfpack Sting came out, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that his son's? Because like Garrett had jet black hair, but I'm like, did Garrett like bleach his hair? And sure enough,
Totally
that's what
bleached it.
happened. And what's funny is I actually tweeted Garrett and told him, I literally thought your dad had time traveled back from 1990 when I saw you appear on the ramp. That was amazing. And he just said, that's like the greatest compliment I could ever receive.
He looked identical to his dad. That's
Right.
Yeah,
they
the
both
pictures look
did.
crazy. The
And-
pictures
Oh
look
my
crazy.
god.
Both of them look just like him in every way. But man, when Sting come out, when they started playing Seek and Destroy, it was just that.
Oh my god.
I don't know how that translated from the arena to the live audience, but that crowd just went insane. Oh my god, it was like, and I was just like, I was cry screaming. I was like, yes, and singing along to Seek and Destroy. I was like, oh my god, and we stood for all of us stood for most of the match, just because it was even up in the balcony, just because it was just like the atmosphere was just so electric. And speaking of that match, I don't know how it translated from the arena to live, to the live feed. But when Darby Allin went through that glass, it was literally a mixture. It was.
Yeah, oh, Wesley, you're so funny.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
That's exactly what Earl did. Like, that's what his face looked like when you saw Darby go through the glass, because we were live streaming it. It was crazy.
It was like the loudest collection of either people just went or were like me and went, oh my god, he's dead. Oh my god.
I thought he died. I was serious.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I am shocked he didn't break a bone, puncture a lung, nothing. It was just.
And now he's going to climb Mount Everest.
Stitches. God,
I'm surprised they're allowing him to do it.
He is. I'm telling you, that atmosphere. I was fully expecting Sting to lose. I mean, I was fully expecting it because, I mean, it was his last match. That's always been the tradition, even though Taker kind of broke that tradition. But if anyone in this business deserve to go out with a win and as a champion, Sting absolutely deserves a hand slap dick.
$2,000 in fines instead of 1,000 now.
No.
Make it 3.
3,000. Just start.
Yeah. That's how Caitlin Drew wearing that CM Punk shirt. I love it. That's great. But yeah, just being when he won that match, I swear I just I was already crying, but man, I'm glad I didn't wear makeup because it would have been streaked. I would have been nothing but a hot mess. I did vlog it. I am going to put together a vlog for my YouTube channel at some point.
Oh, good.
Our experience. I did post a few videos here and there on Twitter, and the entrance that I got of Sting and his sons coming down the ramp, I actually put it on my Instagram story and tagged Sting and his 2 sons. And Stephen Borden actually come back to me and said, "Epic, thank you." I was like,
That's awesome.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah. I got responses from both Garrett and Steven. It was so cool. But to be in attendance for my all-time GOATs last match was a once in a lifetime experience, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Have you ever seen Sting live before?
Oh yeah, it had been a
Okay.
long time. I used to like I said during the NWA days, I used to go all the time, and you think I was wild? I have the hots for Drew. Sting is my original Drew. He back in the day when he had that blonde hair and that body. Oh my Lord, he's responsible for me hitting puberty. Back in the 80s. I'm not talking about going all the way back to UWF.
Oh my God.
He's the reason he's
this, but with Sting.
That but with Sting. That's right.
I'm telling you, I do have another story about Sting, but I'm not going to tell it here because it's a little embarrassing. But
hilarious. Is it the one I'm thinking of?
It is the one you're thinking.
It's hilarious.
I was 15 years old, and well, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, I used to go all the time. I used to go to when they would have nitros there, and just different shows. They used to have shows in Charlotte all the time. But then when they went, and started the Monday Night Wars, they didn't do it as often. But I did go several times, and I did get to see Crow Sting one time in Charlotte. But I had not seen him live since 1989 or 1999. That was the last time I had seen him live, other than when we met him at WrestleCade 2 years ago. And meeting him, like I was just awestruck. But Josie was the one who took the attention because he absolutely loved her, because she just walked right up to him and said, "I love Joker Sting." And his face just lit up. It was just like,
that's my favorite iteration of Sting is Joker Sting.
And just, they just had this really cute banter. And he took the time to look at both my husband and I, and he said, because he just enjoyed his little bit of time with her, and he just looked at us and he said, "That little girl is going places. She's got more personality than everyone in this building combined, and that little girl can do anything she wants to do in life." And it was just like, hearing that from
one of your heroes.
Yeah, it was just like, and Josie's
proud mama moment.
Oh, it was one of the proudest, and she was just like, "Thank you," just because it was funny. He asked her, he said, "What was your favorite thing about Joker Sting?" And she just looked at him and said, "The jokes." Yeah, she's just like
so casual about it.
The jokes, but and to have that and then go see him in his final match was just mwah. I
can't imagine.
Oh God, it was amazing. But I can't wait to go to my next live show again. I don't know when that's going to be with our finances, but hopefully, I mean, I do have a new full-time job, but I'm actually,
Yay!
I know, but I am still on the hunt for something that pays a little bit better. But
Sure.
but for right now, at least I do have a full-time paycheck coming finally. But hopefully, we'll get to go again soon because that little girl's like dying to go again. She's just like, when can I go see Drew again? I'm just like, I don't know. I
Aw.
want to go see him too. Stop it.
As soon as your dad plants a money tree in the backyard.
Right.
I'll go plant the freaking tree if it
Let's
actually
go plant a money tree,
Let's go
kiddo.
plant a money tree. Yeah, like hundreds and $1,000 bills only. Thank you. Oopsie.
Right.
But if we don't have any other questions, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Nick, it has been wonderful.
Yes, thank
having
you guys again for having me. It was a lot of
and-
fun. Can't wait for night one.
Yeah, your night one and Mac the Giants fan. He's got the round up. He's got the round up. I have to do my best.
That was the best.
Oh, that was great, Cherry. You did such a good job.
Well, thank you. But he's going to be with us for night two. I will go ahead and warn you. Like I said, I'm going to be having a party with with a lot of my friends, including that one here. She's coming. So we're going to be on the same screen, which that's going to be fun. But whatever comes out of our mouths because of the alcohol, maybe we should just go ahead and apologize.
Yeah.
Put a censor, put a warning label up ahead of time.
Warning.
But we are really looking forward to doing night one with you. And
Yeah, can't wait.
yeah. So, all right. So I think that is going to do it for this episode 5 of Queens of the Ring. So for our wonderful guest, Nick, for the lovely Denise, for the lovely Wisconsin sunrise that is known as Sarah, I am Cherry, and we are the Queens of the Ring, and we will see you next month. Bye, guys.
Bye.